camp of the Leni-Kiko tandem is planning to file cases against the Comelec for the removal of its campaign materials in private properties. They claim this is unconstitutional. Barry Gutierrez, the spokesman of presidential candidate and Vice President Leni Robredo, calls on the Comelec to revisit its policy.
So, mahalaga para sa amin na mag-i-issue ng ganitong paglilinaw kung ano yung tingin naming tamang pagbasa ng batas. Manawagan sa Comelec na balikan nila itong pulisiyang ito dahil mukhang malinaw itong paglabag sa ating konstitusyon at sa batas.
Election lawyer Romulo Macalintal on Thursday, February 17 says Comelec's takedown of the Leni-Kiko posters violates not just the Constitution but also the Fair Elections Act and several jurisprudence.
It is very arbitrary and a clear case of abuse of power and discretion and violation of one's constitutional right to property. This is what the Comelec has done to those non-candidates who posted alleged oversized campaign materials on their own private properties.
In a separate statement, Vice Presidential Bet Kiko Pangilinan also appeals to the Comelec to respect the rights of private citizens who show support for him and Robredo. Otherwise, he may file a case against the poll body for trespassing and destroying private property. Gutierrez also says the Comelec's takedown policy causes a chilling effect not just on the Robredo Pangilinan supporters but even on the backers of other candidates. A Comelec resolution states candidates' lawful election materials can be displayed at their headquarters, but banners and streamers sized 2 by 3 feet or larger are prohibited. Macalintal says these rules do not govern private citizens who gave their consent for campaign posters to be displayed on their private properties. Some 36 years after the overthrow of dictator Ferdinand Marcos, Senators Ping Lacson and Tito Soto on Thursday, February 17, remind Filipinos the strongman's martial law regime was a dark time in Philippine history.
Never again martial law. No. Martial law is a very good lesson for all Filipinos to learn from. Ano. Never again nabibigyan mo ng absolute power ang isang ruler.
Soto, for his part, recalls composing the EDSA anthem Magkaisa amid the revolution's politically charged atmosphere. Soto then contests the use of the term revisionism in effort to discredit the stories of abuse under martial law. Soto says it is simply disinformation. Manila Mayor and Presidential Bet Isko Moreno also says the upcoming anniversary of the People Power Revolution is a time to reject abuses by the powerful and recall that governments must be backed by the people.
In the case of 86, I think it's worth it na ito naman maalala lagi ng mga kabataan na ang kapangyarihan ng pagkapangulo ay nanggaling sa tao.
He says he will continue to commemorate the occasion if he wins as president. The People Power Revolution's 36th anniversary will be celebrated on February 25. Meantime, Lacson stays optimistic in his campaign despite trailing behind his competitors in pre-poll surveys.
Hindi ako makapaniwala na 4% lang ako. Kasi iba yung ramdam ko sa ground eh.
In a Pulse Asia presidential survey conducted from January 19 to 24, Lacson remains in 4th place with 4% voter preference rating nationwide. Dictator son Bongbong Marcos continues to lead with 60% of voter preference.
Need more context, clarity, and perspective? Get the full picture with Rappler Plus. With exclusive content and events, you'll get an opportunity to discuss issues with reporters, experts, and featured guests while helping Rappler continue its fearless journalism. Join now.
The Philippine Health Department says the mandatory wearing of face masks in the country may be lifted towards the end of 2022 if COVID-19 becomes endemic by then. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeire says this in an interview with ANC Thursday, February 17, as a reaction to vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr.'s statement. Galvez earlier said face masks may no longer be required in open spaces by the last quarter of 2022 if the government will be able to vaccinate 90 million of its 110 million population. But Vergeire reiterates the importance of wearing masks, especially for those in the medical field, because it doesn't just protect them from COVID-19 but also from other diseases. The DOH on Tuesday, February 15, said the Philippines is back to low-risk classification for COVID-19. A BBC correspondent calls out SMNI, the network owned by controversial pastor Apollo Quiboloy, for using their footage without permission. In a tweet, BBC News Philippines correspondent Howard Johnson says SMNI used their footage of Scarborough, Seoul in a trailer. The trailer was repeatedly broadcast during the SMNI presidential debate last Tuesday, February 15. In a message to Rappler, Johnson says neither the BBC News team in Manila nor London were approached to seek permission to use the footage. The BBC correspondent also says the footage of Scarborough Shoal, aired in July 2021 on BBC World News, is not available on the Getty website, a third-party site where news organizations can purchase BBC footage. Rappler has reached out to SMNI but has yet to receive a response as of writing. Quiboloy, who owns SMNI, is wanted by the US FBI for sex trafficking and other charges. South Korean boy band BTS is set to mount their first shows for their home fans since the pandemic began. They are set to do 3 concerts in the capital Seoul next month. Their agency Big Hit Music on Wednesday, February 16 says the concert will be held at Seoul's Olympic Stadium on March 10, 12, and 13 and will also be live-streamed. Their last concert for South Korean fans was in October 2019, a couple of months before the coronavirus emerged. As the pandemic spread in 2020, the band postponed and then called off what was meant to be their biggest international tour, involving nearly 40 concerts. They played their first in-person concert since the onset of the pandemic in November in Los Angeles.